In this video, we will be reacting to your guys' hottest wrestling takes. So I have scoured the darkness that is wrestling Reddit, and I have come out not the same person as I was going in, because those are the deepest, darkest depths of internet's wrestling culture. But I did it for the Burning Hammer, and I have 10 wrestling hot takes that I'm going to present to Dillon, and we will discuss just how hot those are. Dillon, are you ready to handle the heat?
I'm ready.
Okay. Without further ado, let's jump in to these hot, piping hot takes. The first one. If monsters weren't treated like monsters, they would get more respect. People say wrestlers like Omos can't wrestle, which is wrong because he can, but he never gets an opportunity to show it. Can monsters wrestle if they weren't treated like monsters? Would they get more respect? I don't think this is too hot.
I don't think this is too hot either. I also think it's very subjective. Like, Omos, for his size, is probably like the most athletic person we've seen. You know what I mean? As a guy like close to his size and the way he moves in the ring. Or maybe Braun Strowman, but like Omos is significantly bigger than Braun. So I think it's just hard not to present a guy like that as like you can't just ignore the fact that he's over 70. Yeah, I do kind of understand what he means. I don't think it's that hot of a take because I do understand what he means in the way that they're kind of boxed in. Like once you're like, if you're super big, like you're just going to be billed as like this super big guy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard.
Have like the same move sets and whatnot. And they all kind of tend to do the same thing. So I definitely get what they mean in just letting these big guys wrestle.
I will say that this is also very subjective to WWE because outside of WWE in this day and age, man, like you can find people of all shapes and sizes that are doing anything in this ring. So I guarantee you there's guys that are 7 foot tall doing Hurricane Ranas and probably 450 splashes and shit. Like, I guarantee it. Like, so, I mean, obviously not in WWE, but maybe not 450. That's pretty crazy. 7 foot tall. Who knows though? Like, the people are doing some wild shit nowadays. Like, wrestling is crazier than it's ever been. So that's the other thing. I also think this is very subjective to WWE because outside of WWE, your wrestling career is very much what you make of it. You have so much that I think that's one of the beautiful things about it is that if you're 7 foot tall and you're just like, fuck this, I want to learn how to do a 450 splash. Like, if you got the dedication to learn how to do a 450 splash, you'll figure it out eventually. You know what I mean? If you put the time and effort in. So, yeah, I don't think it's that hot of a take, but I also think it's very subjective.
I fully agree. So let's move on to the next one. So you should never be allowed to carry something to the ring you couldn't use in a hardcore match, i.e. Drew McIntyre's sword.
No, it's a prop. It's a prop. What are you talking about? He's not going to actually kill anybody with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is just dumb. If he wants to carry a sword, a lot of people were hating on Drew McIntyre's sword.
Also, I guarantee you, 100%, I'm 1,000% positive, bet my life that a sword has been used multiple times in a hardcore match on the indies. Like, I guarantee you, not probably. I guarantee you people have used swords in death matches and hardcore matches. I mean, people use like chainsaws.
He tried to kill Bobby Lashley that one time.
Yeah.
So he used it.
Listen.
Get him.
Stupid take. I don't know. Let people Let people have fun.
Yeah, let them have fun. Who cares?
It's professional wrestling at the end of the day. Like, these are dudes fighting in tights. At the end of the day, like, they're not even actually fighting. So why do you care if he brings a sword?
Yeah. I just don't get what's stupid about it. Why don't people like it?
I think they just think it looks silly. I think they just think it looks silly. But I'm just like, who cares? I think it looks cool.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
Say it to Drew McIntyre. All right, this is the thing. People think it looks silly because it would look silly if you did it. The people that think it would, and it absolutely would. It would look silly if I did it. It would look silly if Mark did it. It's cool because it's Drew McIntyre. Like, this, literally the most jacked, giant, literal Scottish warrior-looking man in the world. So yeah, he can pull off carrying the sword as a prop.
Yeah.
The guys who are like, he's not actually going to stab anybody with it. It's so stupid that he actually brings this sword. Yeah, you would look like a fucking moron with a sword. Those guys are mad that they don't get to bring their swords around in public.
Okay. Well, you'll like this one. This one specifically for, I feel like the Burning Hammer boys. So, the third hot take we have: Baron Corbin had potential to be a world champion, even if it was a short run.
Nah, bro, this isn't hot at all. Still got the potential.
Oh yeah.
This is a cold take. This should be
Cold
well
take.
known. Booked right. I hope he's not. I'm kind of worried that he's very lost in the shuffle at this point.
Yeah.
Dude, but I don't know, dude. I love Baron Corbin, and I think he's doing really good. Like, I think he's in a better.
Awesome.
I think he's in a great spot currently. So me personally, probably doesn't have the potential to be a world champion anymore. But yeah, they did fumble him pretty hard. But I don't know. I guess maybe it's partially on him. Huge part of booking. So no, it's not that hot of a take.
Yeah. If anyone's gonna think this is a cold take, it's the Burning Hammer boys, because we love Baron Corbin. So let's move on, because this one is hot. So, Becky Lynch has always been the worst horsewoman. She's boring as a wrestler and on the mic. Hot.
I think it's just pretty hot because you just can't you can't say that about somebody who is like pretty much the sole reason that the women main evented WrestleMania. She was the hottest thing in all of wrestling. Like, even if you take out everything of her entire career and just her career was like her, whatever, 1 to 2 year run as the man, where she main evented, where she went on to Main Event Mania and all that stuff. Like, yeah, you just can't take that away. Sorry.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that it's very hot, and it's just you're just wrong. Like, it's that simple. Not boring on the mic. She is good in the ring.
It's also hard to pick one that's just like the worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
it's kind of the point of them being like the four, like like, I don't know. I just like hate arguments like that because it's being like, yo, let's talk about who was the worst president on Mount Rushmore. Nobody wants to talk about that.
Yeah. So
no one's like, who wants to talk about who was the worst player on the best football team of it? Like, no one wants to talk about that. Who cares?
Yeah, they're all really good. So let's move on. Cause all right, this one okay. So the fifth one, Jey Uso is boring as a solo guy. A little hot.
I think it's pretty hot, dude. He just like, the entrance alone is not boring. Like, it's the reason you go to WWE shows at this point. I think WWE at this point is potentially fumbling this Jey Uso solo run and we're just kind of in this constant state of limbo of like, what is he doing? What is he gonna do? What's the next move? So that's also part of the reason that I don't really want or think that the Usos are gonna like necessarily get back together right away or as a tag team and go on like a tag team run, because I do think once the Bloodline story is over, I do think that Jey might continue as a single star because he is pretty over, especially with the kids nowadays. So, yeah, I think it's pretty hot. But I mean, I've seen people say his booking has been getting boring. I can get that, but Jay's not boring.
Yeah, I think this is pretty hot.
Jay's an entertaining guy. Jay's funny too.
He's super funny. Part of me can understand how someone could find him boring if you're like just watching him wrestle, because he kind of he hits his moves. You know what I mean? He kind of like goes through the rhythm of his stuff. But I would say in general, I don't think he is even sniffing the word boring.
No.
So again, you're just wrong.
Like I said, his booking may have gotten boring at this point because he's kind of in this weird state of limbo.
Yeah.
But Jey Uso literally has the most electric entrances of all of WWE right now. So you can't just say that's boring. That he's boring when that is a fact.
Yeah, it's yeah. So,
and it's his voice on the song too. How about that? So you can't even say that.
Get him. All right.
So it's not even like he hasn't contributed to the song to make it hype. Can't even say it's just the song. Anyway, number 6.
Number 6. The Rock isn't actually good on the microphone. It is just corny catchphrases that the fans eat up.
Not that hot at this point. Like I said, at one point in time, The Rock could cook anybody. But as The Rock has gotten older, I think this last run we saw it the most. And I'm not saying that The Rock has never been good on the mic, because The Rock at one point in his prime, toe-to-toe with the best of them, if not the best. You know what I mean? But I think at this point, it's just gotten played out. We've been hearing the same things for a very long time. And it feels like he can't just cut like an off-the-cuff promo. It feels like everything has to be planned. Like he just can't. Yeah, I don't know. So, not that hot at this point.
I'm with you. It's probably middle of the road, maybe more towards the cooler end of the scale. But a lot of his stuff now just doesn't quite work like it did in 2001.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So not very hot at all. All right, number 7. Angelo Dawkins deserves a push more than Montez Ford.
I think this is pretty hot. I think you could say he deserves one just as much, but to say he deserves one more, I think they both, honestly, I think they both deserve it in their own right. But I mean, he definitely doesn't deserve it more. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just like
there's also just like little to no explanation behind that. Like why?
I think it's probably just someone who thinks he's super underrated.
Probably.
Everyone sees his potential and like what he can do in the ring, but you just have someone as charismatic and electric as Montez Ford will kind of always overshadow them.
Yeah.
So I
where
they're coming from, but
yeah. And it's also I saw this recently too. Like, I think it was the Ringer Wrestling show that I saw said it too, where it was like, comes a point where people just say somebody's overrated so much that it's like almost offensive. Like, just say he's really good. Like, just say he's like, that's the thing. Like, it's like, I think people say that because they think and it's just like, dude, it's not that hot of a take anymore. Like, Angelo Dawkins is really good. We all know he's really good. Like, we all know that he has improved immensely over years. Like, it's not a big thing. But to say he deserves it more than Montez is like crazy. I think you could definitely say they deserve it as much one or the other. But to say he deserves it more, I think there's just like no explanation behind that at all.
Yeah, I'm fully with you. That one's hot, 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 hot. Okay. Number 8. Damian Priest's run as World Heavyweight Champion has been better than Cody's. No disrespect.
Not a super hot take, man.
Agreed.
Not that hot of a take at all, to be completely honest. When you look at it at the end of the day, I think Cody is the victim of being involved in this bloodline storyline. Like, he's just in a constant, like, they just won't commit to developing a long-term story with him anywhere else. And it feels like they're not going to until that's over. And I can't necessarily blame that all on Cody. I think Cody honestly has done a pretty good job at keeping people relatively involved when at the end of the day, he knows the only real feud he's in is with the bloodline. And that's been for like 2 years now. So like, I think Cody's probably itching for this thing to be over as well. But with that being said, it's really not that hot of a take because Damian took that title and it elevated him. It elevated him and then he elevated it, man. And I think Damian's title run is one of the better ones we've seen and is one of the best examples of people not being 100% sure when the title gets put on him. And by the end, everybody is 100% sure that he's world champion material. So I don't think that's a hot take at all.
Yeah, I don't think that's too hot. Maybe middle of the road, but like you said, it's just I feel like Cody's in a weird spot because they can't commit to a long-term feud because we're obviously waiting for him to kind of return to like the bloodline stuff and maybe stuff with like The Rock and whatnot. But I mean, hopefully by the end of the year, we'll get this Randy and Cody feud really cooking here because I think it's like you said, it's no fault to Cody, but he's been putting on great matches and we've had like good reasonings for certain matches and whatnot, but I think that he could really cook and he could really benefit from like a nice long super like developed feud. So hopefully we'll get soon, but I think this is more of like praising Damian Priest for his work as World Heavyweight Champion than kind of like shitting on Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, totally.
All right, number 9. Second to last one. This one right now, I don't know exactly. I can't remember when this one was written, but I would say in this moment, it may not be too hot of a take given the circumstances. But Bronson Reed deserves a mega push. Cold.
That's not hot.
Cold.
Yeah. Cold. I mean, I was literally just talking about how he might be the one to take the title off Gunther. So, I guess it depends what you define as mega push, but
I think mega push would be world champion.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Like, yeah, but like mega push, like a Damian Priest push, or like a Gunther push. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Gunther probably can never hold a mid-card title again now.
Oh, he won't.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah. So that's what I mean. I guess it depends, but really not that hot of a take, especially considering what we just saw on TV. I mean, like, we said this a couple months ago, maybe, but bad timing. Yeah. After he literally just took out like the biggest star in the company.
I think this was written like a,
and that's all anybody has been talking about. Dude, they probably, yeah, but that's like right when it happened.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Who knows? If you wrote this and we're wrong and you did it before he did that to Seth, let us know. I mean, and with that being said, we're huge Bronson Reed fans. I mean, we were calling for dream matches that included Bronson Reed when he was still in New Japan as Jonah. So I think, but yeah, it's not that hot. Not to say that I disagree with you at all. It's just not that hot of a take.
Yeah. All right. And I thought, what better one to end on than one that is kind of going to be talked about for the next year. And that is going to be give John Cena the title again.
Cold as can be, man. Cold as can be. At one point, listen, man, at one point this was a pretty hot take. But as time goes on, and I think the more time goes on, the more we love Cena and the more Ric Flair does to give us a reason to take that record away from him.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, as much as Ric Flair has done for professional wrestling, and as much of a legend as he is, John Cena is a much better representative to hold that claim and to hold that record. I think everybody in that company knows it, especially TKO and Endeavor. I think they want John Cena as their lone all-time record holder rather than Ric Flair.
Yeah.
They're already building him as the GOAT. I think Cena probably is like might not even fully want it. Like, not that he doesn't want it, but he's like, I really don't need it. Like,
Yeah.
but I think it's pretty cold at this point because, like I said, it's just like over time, Cena just gives us more and more reasons to love him. It feels like, you know what I mean? Like, he's so funny. He's so like, he's just like very genuine, in interviews and when he talks to people, in his passion for the business. He could have went to Hollywood a lot earlier than he did and probably made a lot more money, and he didn't because he loves the WWE and he loves professional wrestling. And I think we all know that. So, if anybody deserves to hold that record and stand alone at the top, it's him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, a freezing cold take, but that's just because.
And I really think they've set themselves up perfectly to where he doesn't have to like squash somebody to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like where he can take it off Randy or have Randy take it off or whatever. You know what I mean? I think it's set up perfectly. It's not like he has to come in and take it off a young up and coming Cody Rhodes. You know what I mean? It's Cody Rhodes is established.
They've got a lot of options.
Yeah. So he deserves it. So I'm all for that.
And I think he's gonna get it. And I think everyone
Me too.
Super pumped. So you guys let us know in the comments. You guys drop your hottest wrestling hot take, and we will make a video if we get enough of them reacting to the Burning Hammer Faithful's hot takes. But with that being said, that's gonna wrap up the video. We'll catch you in the next one.